Hey there, and welcome back to our 4:30 in the morning little podcast ramble sort of style. Today is Wednesday, February 26th, and it is a good start to the day. My gym is right there, and so after I film this little clip with you all, I'll go and get a workout in. I am gonna be working on a YouTube video this afternoon, and I'm very excited to get it done. I've been working on it all week, and I've really been needing to use every single little bit of time that I've had in order to make sure that I can get a video out for this upcoming Saturday, in particular of the quality that I usually like to post my videos with. And so in order to make that happen, you have to sacrifice, of course, and that is part of the reason that I wake up so early every single morning. I used to wake up at 3 a.m. every single morning, and now I'm up to a 4 a.m. wake up time. And I'll kind of share a little bit about the pros and cons of 3 a.m. versus 4 a.m. versus 5 a.m. as a wake up time. I've definitely tried all of them, but this guy, Sam, is absolutely an early bird, and I get so much more benefit out of being able to get productivity in with my morning hours as opposed to staying up late and not getting as much time for the things that I want to get done, or not being able to wake up rested and refreshed in order to get those things that I want to done. And so last year, or about 2 years ago, actually, let me go back a little bit more. I've been waking up at 4 a.m. for maybe almost 10 years of my life now, probably 8 or 9 years of my life. When I was 16 or 17, I used to play football, and I would have football practice early in the morning. But on the days that I didn't have football practice, I think it was like 3 days a week, I was a lifeguard, and I would teach swim lessons in the morning before high school. And I had to be at school by 7:30 a.m., but I knew that I didn't want to have to go and make money in the afternoon and work until 5 or 6 p.m. And so what I would do is I would do the early bird lifeguard shift. And so I would wake up around 3:30 in the morning. The pool would open at 4 a.m. There would always be people knocking on the door ready to swim at 4 a.m. And I was always there to open the door and allow for them to get their morning swim in for an hour. And I think that spending an hour waking up in the morning and just watching these people that were in their 50s and their 60s and their 70s, this was much more of an elderly sort of fitness complex that I got to be a lifeguard at. I got to see the discipline that these people had, and I was always so curious at a young age. If you have all time and all the time in the day and you're retired, why are you deciding to wake up at the crack of dawn and be the first person to jump into a cold pool? And I do not like the cold. As someone that does cold shock therapy, probably it's as a result of seeing these people swim in the pool every single morning at the crack of dawn. And so I would wake up, I'd do the early morning shift from about 4 to about 5:30, 6 a.m. And then I would get off of work at 6 a.m. If I wanted to, I could work out from 6 to 7 a.m. and still be able to get to school by 7:30. Or I would be able to get to football practice at 6:30 a.m. and be able to go and have a full school day and get my football practice in and make some money in the morning and kind of wake up in a really relaxing and inspiring way. And so that was incredibly transformative in my life. And the more that you wake up early, just like the more that you stay up late, your body is going to habituate itself to that routine that you have. And so from a very early age, I just started waking up early, and I realized that on Saturday and Sunday mornings, I could wake up early and I could get some extra money. I could wake up and do the 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. Shift. It'd be 4 hours of getting paid, and I'd be out. I'd be done at 8 a.m. and then I'd be able to hit the gym, be done at 9 a.m. and I'd have the entire day, entire weekend ahead of me, and I'd already made money, I'd already moved my body, I'd already done all these incredibly productive things before anyone else that was my age at the time had woken up. And so I continued these practices going into college and always woke up probably more around 5 a.m. I was a fraternity brother and still enjoyed going out to the parties and whatnot. But when I would wake up in the morning, I would still go and work out every single day. And sometimes I would go out on the work week and I would have class at 8 a.m. the next morning, but it didn't matter to me. If I was up at 5 a.m. and I was able to move my body and get breakfast in and take a shower and shave and all those different things, it was so good for me to just start the day off with so much energy. And I had other classmates in college that would come in right at the time when class would start, and they would still be waking up. Sometimes it would be 10 or 11 a.m. and they would be looking for their second or their third cup of coffee. And I've never had coffee before. I do pre-workout every single morning, but my students, my classmates, we're all in our 20s, 21 or so. They're dragging, and they were always like, Sam, how do you have so much energy in the morning? And it's always been the same routine. I wake up early, I move my body, and by the time that everyone else is awake and ready to attack the world, then I'm good to go. And that has been so influential in my life. And so I have a lot of respect for people that wake up early. And the other 4:30, 5 a.m.ers at the gym, we are all kind of a little tribe and a pack together. We might not talk all the time, but there's definitely that mutual respect with one another with, okay, I recognize that for whatever reason, whether it be discipline, being able to do time efficiency so you can do other things like side hustles like myself, or because of necessity. A little bit on that, on my end, I have to be at work usually around 7 a.m. so I have to wake up early, and other people have early bird shifts, and so they want to make sure that they can get their movement in before they have to do their office job for an early at early hours, or whatever it be, right? There's a lot of kind of unspoken respect that you have for other people that are doing the things that you're doing. And the reason being for that is that my experience with waking up is that things don't get easier. Waking up early doesn't get easier. You just get better at doing hard things. And so that is part of the reason that I think that waking up early can be so beneficial in your life, that every single morning you wake up and you know that you've proven to yourself that you're going to do something hard in the moment. You're going to attack a little bit of suffering in a micro sense so that the macro sense of the day is super easy. And so for me, if I have a stressful day at work, or I have a difficult conversation that I want to have with someone, or I need to push myself out of my comfort zone, well, guess what? From the moment that I woke up, I've been doing that. And usually the workout that I have at the gym is gonna pale in comparison to, or it's gonna make everything else in the day seem so much easier, as opposed to, if I wake up and I'm hitting the alarm and dragging myself to work and I don't have that energy, it's gonna make me grumpy, it's gonna make me a worse version of myself for the world. And so I think that waking up early has really provided me that time and space in order to be the best version of myself as consistently as I can. And equally as importantly is that when you wake up early, you have to adjust your routine. I can't stay up until 9 or 10 or 11 p.m. And as a result, I have to change my routine in order to get to sleep around 7:30 or 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. 8:30, hopefully no later than 9 p.m. I was in bed around 8:15, 8:30 p.m. last night. And what that does is that it starts me getting back into a positive habit track or habit stack as quickly as I can. So as soon as I'm done with dinner for the day, instead of dragging out watching TV, I know that my window for getting enough sleep so that I can wake up and do the things that are most important to me, as opposed to just watching TV at the end of the night or cleaning up, doing minor chores, doing what we call light work. I would rather start getting that done earlier and kind of wrapping up my nightly routine so that I'm prepared as I can be, and all of the systems that I have to be put into place for the next morning are set. That has been so just gravitational in my life. you know, it's 4:45 in the morning. I've already woken up, I've brushed my teeth, I've made my ice cream for the night, I have made my bed, I have filmed and recorded a YouTube video, I've gotten ready for the gym, I've prepared, I've stretched, I've done all of these different things. I'll be out of the gym before 6 a.m. And then I'm able to hit the grocery store if I want to, if I want to get to work early before 7 a.m. I can do all of these different things, and it's only because I spent the night beforehand preparing so that I could be hyper efficient in the morning and be able to get all these things done. And I've really been enjoying that process. But before I run out of here and get to the gym, I did just want to mention really quick my experience with 3 a.m. versus 5 a.m. And last year, I ended up waking up pretty habitually around 3:15, 3:30 a.m. I had someone come into my life that used to work in the military and was a soldier, and their routine is to wake up at 3 a.m., meaning that they're ending their night usually around 7 p.m. And as much as I enjoy the early morning productivity hours, I realized that it had worked my schedule to a point where there was no chance for flexibility whatsoever. If it was a Friday or a Saturday or whatever day, even a work night, and someone wanted to go out to dinner, but they wanted to go out at 6 p.m., well, I'm in bed by 7 p.m., and it wouldn't work like that. And so, although I was able to get even more hours of productivity in the morning, I've realized that waking up a little bit later and having a hard shut off for my day that's a little bit later has enabled for me to have the flexibility in my life that I can say yes to things more, which I don't always do, don't get me wrong, but I think that that's been really important to me. And then 5 p.m. is wonderful too. I think that if you're working an 8 to 5 or a 9 to 5, that is probably what I do. I just happen to start work around like 7:30 in the morning. And so if you wake up at 5, then you can get to the gym by 5:30, be done at 6:30, 7 at the latest, and you can get to work by 8 a.m. And that is really helpful too. But for me personally, I've just found that 4 a.m. is a sweet spot, and I can wake up on the weekends and get so much done before 8 a.m. in a way that is the only way that I can post these videos on this YouTube channel and have the main YouTube channel, which you can find in the description below, have the second YouTube channel, which you can also find in the description, be able to have a nice Discord that's going on, daily community posts, all the different things while working full-time, training for a half marathon, and being the best person that I can as a real life human being. And so waking up early has changed my life, and I highly recommend you maybe adapting it or trying it out, seeing if that routine works for you. If you've enjoyed this video, consider taking a look at this one. I am posting as much as I can, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, if not more. And if you have something that you related to in this video, please do consider leaving a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the description.